Some of the technology that you'll encounter in the SLPA program, we're going to go through some of that now. One thing I do want to point you to is the online student manual, and specifically page 7, where it talks about the computer requirements or the technology specifications that you'll need. One thing as an online student that's really important is to have reliable, high-speed internet. Your courses are being delivered online, your coursework is submitted online. That high-speed internet and reliable high-speed internet is very important. I also encourage you to have a backup plan. We know that sometimes internet is not always reliable 100% of the time, so have a plan B set. You'll also need a webcam, whether that's integrated into your computer or a separate one. You'll have access to the Microsoft Office Professional Plus as a free download. We do recommend Chrome as your internet browser. Things just seem to work better in MyMTI and a lot of the computer-based programs that we use if you're using Chrome as your browser. Again, as Jennifer mentioned earlier, there will be an iPad provided to the students in South Dakota by MTI that is already preloaded with apps. And then just also keep in mind, as far as your laptop, that Mitchell Tech IT does not provide support for Mac computers. The iPads, again, let's talk a little bit more about those. An iPad is required for the SLPA program, and as we've said before, is provided to students in South Dakota. Those iPads that are provided to South Dakota students do have apps preloaded on them, but you can also download any free apps to those MTI iPads. You'll be getting more information about this later, but before those iPads are sent out, you will need to sign and send in an agreement. And then after that is received, and after that 10-day count that Jennifer mentioned earlier, those iPads will be sent out to students in South Dakota. One of the big programs that you will be encountering in the SLPA program is one called VoiceThread. This is a program where all of your lectures will be delivered. This is your class. This is more or less your classroom. This is where you'll get the information, you'll participate in discussions, you may have some assignments within the VoiceThread itself. You can access the VoiceThread website and those lectures in MyMTI in the courses where that's required. You'll find that in the coursework tab, and so you'll be able to access those VoiceThreads for those lecture formats. There is a video in SLPA 101 in resources called What is a VoiceThread, and I really strongly recommend you go and view that as soon as possible. And just keep in mind that participation in the discussions in VoiceThread is graded in some SLPA courses, and the course instructor will notify you which courses those are, and you'll be able to see that in your coursework tab as well if there's a grade for participation. Teleconferencing is also something that is an important part of the SLPA program. The format that we'll be using for teleconferencing is called Skype for Business, and it is part of Microsoft Office 2013. Again, that's something that you'll be able to download from the Technology tab in MyMTI, and that is free to students. And so we'll be using Skype for Business for your advising meetings, to meet with tutors if that's something that you are taking advantage of, as well as those tutoring services, and then as you're practicing teletherapy later in your program. Part of that Microsoft Office 2013 will also be Outlook that you'll be using for your email. These next technology aspects of the program I'm just going to mention briefly because you'll be getting much more information about them as they come up in your coursework. But I do want to at least mention them to you so you're a little bit more familiar with them. The first one is speechpathology.com and Simucase. This is a web-based technology tool that the subscriptions are paid for by MTI. You'll be provided with a login information by your instructors as those pieces of coursework that you'll be utilizing this for come up. Speechpathology.com itself is where you'll be able to get in on webinars that are pre-recorded and are used in some coursework. And then SimuCase is part of that, where there are simulated clients that you'll be able to work with and provide therapy and screening for these simulated clients. And those are primarily used in the second year or the 200 level SLPA coursework. Trajexis is also a technology tool that you will be utilizing as a student. The subscription, again, is paid for by MTI. You'll be provided more instructions with that coming up in your SLPA 101 course. This program is one that is used to track lab participation, where competency demonstrations within lab will be graded, and then you'll be utilizing it quite a bit when you do your observations and your field work throughout the SLPA program. TheraSimplicity is a program, or excuse me, is a website where you are able to access, create, and utilize online speech and language materials. It's free access for students in the SLPA program. You will be utilizing the materials that you create for some assignments. You'll have to watch the training video, and then you'll be provided with login information, again, after that 10-day count. Master Clinician Network is a web-based program where there are therapy sessions with speech-language pathologists, where they're providing therapy sessions that you'll be able to watch those videos of those. Again, membership is paid for by MTI, and you'll again be provided that login information at a later date. And then another one is called turnitin.com. This is, again, as Jennifer mentioned, you'll be hearing a lot about academic integrity and plagiarism, and this is a program or a website where instructors may require you to upload papers, where we can check for originality. You can check for originality based on what you've written, and then papers can be graded right on there as well. One of the big things that you'll need to keep track of with all of these websites and technology things is your login information and your passwords. Really strongly recommend that you keep all of those login names and passwords in one place. An example of a good place to keep that is right in that online student manual. There are some blank pages at the back where you can write down those login names and passwords for those different sites.
We want to finish up with some advice from people who have been in your shoes and have successfully completed the SLPA program. So all of this information comes from people at the end of their program. Finding a quiet place for you to complete your coursework at home is very important. So if there's a room or a corner of the room where you can keep all of your school tools, your textbooks and your computer, and kind of shield yourself from the action and noise in your home, that's going to help you to focus more on your coursework. During your coursework, you'll be creating lesson plans and activities, and one of our students wanted to remind you guys to make sure that you keep all of those materials that you create, because you're going to want them when you go into your fieldwork and your career. Our students also wanted you to know that it is hard work to be an online student, and the SLPA program is rigorous, so you need to be prepared to work hard. This is not a program where you can log in once a week, respond to a discussion post, read a chapter, take a quiz, and be done. You will be doing hands-on work. Because it's a rigorous program and we want you to be successful, we are here for you to help you. And the students want to remind you that you need to communicate with your instructors. Because we don't see you in a classroom every day, we're not going to know if you're struggling unless you tell us. And back to that academic integrity piece, students who have been there before want to remind you that you need to write like a college student and to cite your sources. Some more advice, make sure you're organized and you stay ahead of your assignments. Assignments are typically open for a week. Longer assignments might be open for 2 or 3 weeks. That means that you don't want to start an assignment the day it's due or the day before it's due. You need to look at your assignments as soon as they open so that you know what's expected and you can put together a timeline to complete them successfully. You also want to utilize your course mates as resources, so make sure that you're making connections with the other people in your courses, you're talking to them and working together with them. Like we talked about before, if you're registered as a full-time student, you need to be prepared to, in some cases, do full-time work. Another student wanted us to remind people that your first year classes need to be taken seriously because they are the foundation for those second year courses and your field work. If you skip over some of the information in the first year, that will make the second year more difficult. Support each other, use all of those resources that we provide to you, and make sure you never give up on your college education. We've mentioned that online student manual. That was sent to each student along with your registration materials. If you didn't get that, contact me, Jennifer Schultz, and I can email you an online version of that, or maybe you've misplaced it. Just let me know. There's also a specific manual for students in the SLPA program, and that's located in the resources for SLPA 101. And as I mentioned before, the MTI General Catalog and Student Handbook are there for your reference as well. So that's it. That's your introduction to the online SLPA program. Bobby and I are both looking forward to meeting all of you soon and having a fantastic year learning with you.